All right, we're going to go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. Eagle Mortgage knows mortgages, and they've known mortgages for the past 30 years. They've been doing it for a while. Holly Schneidewin and her team there are outstanding. A lot of customer service focus. They realize that it can be kind of stressful buying a house or getting ready to buy a house, and so they really work with you. I know, most people, they probably only buy a few houses over the course of an entire lifetime. So they'll coach you through it, counsel you through it, work with you to get that pre-approval letter. FHA, VA, conventional loans are all on the table, and you can find them at eaglemortgagecompany.com.
People are buying houses. I have 3 close friends that are buying houses right now like they're value priced.
Well, yeah, and we have just a few people in our office that are buying houses. I mean, one coworker said yesterday he closed at 8:00 a.m. yesterday. We've got another coworker who closes on a new house on Monday.
Moving closer to the office.
Yeah, that's right. We expect that coworker to show up at the office quite a bit now.
Absolutely.
And be early, because that coworker's right across Dodge Street from the office. Hope that coworker's listening. Well, Trenton, let's get into this, and let's talk first about Generations. This is a new development by Werner Park.
Yeah, a BHI development. Jerry Torzon's group, very prolific developer, good guy, and it'll be a heck of a project. This is something I was involved with early, that area over by Werner Park, home of the Storm Chasers, and what is that, Omaha Union Soccer Club?
That would be Union Omaha.
Union Omaha. And this is 126th and Highway 370. This is the baseball park area. This is the 60 acres in front of that. It's been a long time coming, but BHI is going to develop it into a mixed-use development. They're going to have about 400 apartments. They're going to have 1 or 2 parking garages at least, and they're going to have retail, office, and it'll be developed over a few years, I think. But it's kind of everything's been kind of closing in from you've got Shadow Lake on 72nd Street. You've got other developments at the interstate, and it's kind of all coming in towards this area. So it'll be a good development. You got a lot of residential stock, that Prairie Queen development around there. You got the lakes around there, and so this will be a good infill area, and but it'll be done over time.
60 acres, and Trenton, if you look at the site plan, it actually has 2 hotel buildings designated on there. So that will be interesting because hospitality is an industry that is in great flux, but is still showing a lot of promise. It'll be interesting to see if both of those hotels happen and how long it'll take.
Yeah, I could definitely see 1 or 2 limited service hotels there.
Well, let's do some national real estate news. CoStar is always nice enough to provide us some national information on the real estate market, and I know a lot of people like hearing that. And this week we're talking about weekend travelers driving up hotel occupancy last week. This is encouraging. We just mentioned hotels. The industry has been kind of experiencing a roller coaster existence over the past year and a half.
It's payback for them right now.
Yeah, I suppose
they're definitely charging the rates.
Payback in a good way for them.
Well, payback, yeah, because they're getting the room rates.
Weekly occupancy rose 2.2 percentage points last week to 63.9%. That's respectable.
Is that week over week, month over month, or
week over week? And room rates followed with an increase of $3.50. So that's a big jump up. Average rate is now $134 for hotels nationwide, all classes of hotels combined. And weekend occupancy hit 79%, a 4-point increase from the previous weekend. So
it went
big
up
jump up.
It went up about a gallon of gas.
It went up about a gallon. $3.50? That's some cheap gas. No, just kidding. Actually,
we're at like a 7-year high.
In some parts of the country, it is. But I noticed I fueled up this week, and I think if I can remember correctly, it was $2.99. Does that sound about right? $2.99 at the Hy-Vee by our office.
There you go.
So I think that's what it was. I've never been one of those persons that always remembers the gas price. I'm always one of those persons like, well, whatever it is, I've got to have it.
Right.
And then at the end you look and you say, Oh, damn, that's a big gas bill because I also am one of those.
You're not using the 91 octane like I usually have to.
No. I use the cheapest
That
stuff I can
explains
possibly
it.
get. So what do you pay for your stuff? You
It
you
just
high
depends
roller?
on where I go.
Well, what about $350? What is it?
Whatever the good price is at Anderson Convenient Mart.
Yeah. All right. Well, you high rollers pay a lot for that gas.
No. I go to Anderson, so it's good price.
Okay, so let's also talk about a very well-known and well-loved shopping center in Omaha that's on the sale block. One Pacific Place is for sale right
For
now.
only $33 million, I believe.
If you want to have your own mall, here's some information that you need to know. We'll tell you about One Pacific Place here. It is 103rd and Pacific. It is listed by an out-of-town real estate company, one of the biggest real estate companies in the United States, JLL. The whole mall is 91,000 feet, and according to JLL's marketing materials, it's 93.4% occupied. I had no idea it was that high, but they did say in the marketing information that 5 leases totaling 12,000 square feet have been signed so far in 2021. I don't think all of those have been announced.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what those are. And they probably lost a couple tenants during COVID and
They did.
whatever else.
They did. I think a handful of them, and then there were a handful of vacancies prior to COVID, if I remember correctly. Now they talk about Trader Joe's being the anchor tenant, and I would think Trader Joe's is a very desirable tenant. It's the only one in the whole metro area. So Trenton, I don't know if you remember this. What year was One Pacific Place constructed?
Were we just around high school time, or were we?
We were out. Trenton and I graduated in 1987 from high school.
So you think that? So I'll do the over under. I'll do 1990.
You're very close. 89.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 1989, which is hard to believe that much time goes by because I can remember when
32 years.
Yeah, and don't you remember when it first opened? There were so many.
I remember the Renstrom farm there. I remember the horse farm there.
Remember they had the white cows. The cows were white that were there.
No way.
Yeah, it was some sort of herd or something like that.
You couldn't see them in the winter. It was crazy.
They blended, but kind of like polar bears though. It was kind of a dirty white. You could still see them in the winter.
Okay.
But when One Pacific Place opened, it was the place that brought a lot of brand names to Omaha that didn't exist here prior. If I remember correctly, like even Banana Republic and Eddie Bauer and some of those, that was the first time they were ever here.
Do you remember the now Noddle Development developed that area, master plan the development, and they started it. But do you remember the national company that developed it? It was also billed as one of the first lifestyle shopping centers. Can you name the name of the lifestyle developer that did it?
I don't, and I've got a feeling as soon as you say it, I'm going to go, oh, yeah. So
I think it was Pogan McEwen.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think that's, but yes.
Why I remember that, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know.
Meanwhile, there are like thousands of Omahans taking notes right now. I need to know that Pogan McEwen for my cocktail party tonight. But yeah, it's been a big success, and it'll be interesting to see how it transitions. I think One Pacific Place still has a lot of mileage on it, and has good bones, and it's a great spot.
It's one of the few cancer survivor parks next to it as well.
Yeah, you don't see one of those on every corner.
No, beautiful place.
Moving right along, we've got some construction coming here to Dundee, and that is a 4-story mixed-use building going to be located right on the main drag, Underwood Avenue, but a little bit east of where most of the downtown business activity is in downtown Dundee. So I'll give you a little bit of information on that. It is going to be the exact address, 4907 Underwood Avenue. Street level retail with apartments on the upper floors. Developers have to tear down one existing residential building. It's either single family or could be, I'm not sure, it could be one of those single family houses that are common around here where they shoved a bunch of apartments in it. But a building that when it was built was at least a single family house. That's coming down. But like I said, 4 stories. So this, I think, will kind of take that retail and commercial activity in Dundee and pull it a little further east.
Yeah, it's good. The density is good as well.
So the other thing that might surprise some people when it comes to development projects, plans call for the Exarban Suites by Wyndham. at 7270 Cedar Street. A lot of people probably don't even know this place exists, but it's a 6-story hotel. It's just kind of tucked back in there. And if you don't look and crank your head to the left on 72nd Street, if you're going north, you don't even see it. But they're going to take this and repurpose it into a 181-unit apartment building. Of those, 169 will be studio apartments, 12 will be 2-bedroom apartments. Anyway, this is, like I said, 6 stories, 152,000 square feet. At various times, it was an Embassy Suites, and then for a while it was DoubleTree Suites.
Yep.
But Trenton, do you remember what it was called when you and I were little kids and it was brand new? It was an actual chain.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
HJ's.
Huh?
Howard Johnson's?
No. It could have been owned by Howard Johnson's perhaps, but it was Granada Royale
Okay.
Hometel.
Okay.
Roger Olson, do you remember that?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you remember the Granada Royale?
Oh, yeah.
I remember the name.
A lot of post-prom parties ended up there.
Do you remember what a big deal that was when that thing opened?
Yeah, it really was.
We would go as a family.
Was that the first? Was that the first name of it?
I believe so. Wasn't it
Granada.
built? Yeah, wasn't it built to be because I looked this up when we were putting the newsletter together this week, and there was one in El Paso, Texas. There was one in Scottsdale. There was one here, and just a couple other cities. There weren't many Granada Royales, but I can remember as a little kid going in there when it was new, and it had that atrium that went all the way to the ceiling, and it was decorated in a Spanish motif.
So the Howard Johnson. What is the Howard Johnson's now?
The Howard Johnson was where the DoubleTree is now on.
Okay, that's what confused me.
Yeah, because there is a DoubleTree, not DoubleTree Suites, regular DoubleTree on I-80 and 72nd.
Right.
I figure you would remember Granada Royale.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I just grew up over by Exarban, so
Yeah.
it was in the neighborhood. But, yeah, it was kind of a unique deal because it was like a suites hotel. I mean, it was kind of considered
Yeah, it was ahead of
pretty
its
nice.
time.
They had like cocktail hours in the atrium for, a
Yeah.
while. I don't think they did breakfast at that point, but we're talking late 70s.
Yeah, or maybe even mid-70s.
Mid to late. I think it was after the tornado
Okay.
that it was built.
So it had the Playboy Club across the parking lot, basically.
Playboy Club was at the Sheraton.
Yeah, that was at the Sheraton at
120th and L.
120th.
of all people. I can't believe you would screw that up. I figure
I
you'd
know.
know exactly where the Playboy Club
Because it was
was.
Ted Selden that had both of those. That's why.
Well, Ted Selden, I don't believe ever had the Granada, but he had
No, he had the Howard Johnson.
the Hojo
Yeah.
by the interstate, and then, like you said, they had the Sheraton, and Ted did have that Playboy Club, or they were a tenant
Yeah.
for him.
2 or 3 of them, other places as well.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.